Alright, I'm in a good mood today. I got my job at Indian Lake as the volunteer starter. Guy said I did a good job, kept the course running smooth. Actually kept it running ahead of schedule by a few minutes. Owner liked the job I was doing. So I'm gonna reward myself with one of my favorite cigars. The Psyko 7 Maduro. Now the reason this is one of my favorite cigars is because it has a San Andreas wrapper on it. And I've always had good tasting smokes with San Andreas wrappers. I smoked a Christoph last year where the end was actually like it wasn't open like this. The binder actually wrapped over the end, so when you lit that up, it exploded with flavor on light up. But that was really expensive. The reason these are one of my favorites is because these only cost me 11 bucks Canadian versus 50 for the Christoph. So this is a good way to have a San Andreas wrap cigar in an affordable package by Canadian standards. So let's cut this thing, light this thing, and smoke it. And also we're gonna do something different. In my other cigar reviews or videos where I'm talking about cigars, smoking cigars, I noticed a lot of what I taste is the same. So I looked up this cigar on a reputable dealer's site, and basically copied the tasting notes that you're supposed to taste. And I'm gonna see if I can pick up on any of these notes that you're supposed to taste. Like the reason I think a lot of my cigars had the same tasting notes in my reviews was that's just what my palate picks up on, or the tastes I described. But I wanted to go into cigars that I never tried before, you know, like the Cohiba or that Casa Manga I smoked in the What's in the Bag video, or the Rocky Patel 50 that I smoked. You know, I want to taste it, you know, blind. Like when I play games, you know, I don't like the spoilers, especially like a game where the player has the choices like Fallout New Vegas. My first playthrough of that game, totally blind, didn't look for anything, didn't bother to look up what the, you know, accepted canon ending is or who the best faction was, you know, went into it with my own reactions, so that way I reacted naturally to any situations. So that's why I just went into cigars blind. So now we're gonna try different. All right, let's get out there. And this is where this cigar earns a lot of points for me, is in the actual presentation. You got this prescription outer, there's the actual band on the cigar, but you have this secondary band that's like a prescription. There's Maduro, and there's the company that makes them, Ventura Cigar Company. But it's like a prescription, and it actually tells you, see, wrapper, binder, and filler. Wrapper, San Andreas, binder, Mexican, Sumatran, and then I think the filler is, I think that says multi-country blend. Should have actually got the blend from the website because it said what it was. But yeah, I want to share this because, as you know from some of my other videos, cigars won't be able to be presented this way much longer in Canada. So I want to show you this cool thing before it's gone, because Canada likes to mess with anything fun and make it not fun. So I got scotch in the cup and bourbon in the coffee. Both my custom recipes of each. So on my little cheat sheet here, it says the cigar has the following tasting notes: cherry, raisin, pepper, cream, leather, fruit, chocolate, and coffee. So we'll tune in at different points. We'll start with light up, and then when I'm through the first thirds, I'll tell you if I tasted anything. And then in the final third, and it doesn't look like the matches are gonna play ball. There we go. That's pretty uneven. Yes, very peppery on light up. Let's purge it. Oh yes, very peppery, very leathery on light up. It's even fun to smoke it with the prescription on it. And that's the main reason I wanted to share it with you, is just you won't see cool stuff like this in Canada because our government is the fun police. And very spicy with that leather. And a bit of that chocolate sweetness and working its way in the background too as we get into the first thirds. Yeah, the chocolate and the cream is starting to come in now. Like, it's getting that nice, sweet, rich feeling while maintaining that, you know, cigar pepper spice. Like, you know, gives you a grab by the boo-boo, as they would say, but in a good way. Like, it doesn't tear your head off. Yeah, you get this nice spice and pepper and rich Maduro flavor, but it smooths out and you get like this creamy, rich taste, like a good chocolate. It's actually quite delectable. So it kicks you in the butt a little bit, but then it sweetens out a little bit. So we'll pull this off, then we'll come back when we're a little more way through. So yeah, you get the nice, you know, bold Maduro flavor that you should expect with the leather, but then it sweetens out. Almost makes this a nice delectable dessert cigar with some punch. I remember I had, I think it was the CAO Flathead 554. That was really good. I don't think it was San Andreas, or maybe it was. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to what that was made out of. But it had this nice oily dark wrapper and it was like chocolate. Have it with a cup of coffee, it's like dessert. Yeah, kicks you in the butt with those bold Maduro flavors. And that oily wrapper, the San Andreas, San Andreas is my favorite wrapper. I've never had a cigar, regardless of who makes it, wrapped in a San Andreas wrapper that I didn't enjoy. So to find one at $11 is just awesome. So we've already detected from light up to a few puffs into the first third, the pepper, the cream, the leather, and the chocolate. So that's pretty good for a non-cigar expert. So now that we're a good ways into this, I'm actually starting to notice that cherry in the background, right at the end of everything I've already mentioned. A little bit of fruity sweetness on that too. Yeah, the cherry gives it that little bit of sweetness on the end, like that little bit of fruit sweetness on the end of the chocolate rich sweetness. But it still kicks your butt when you get that first haul and you get that first taste. It's the leather and the pepper, then it's the chocolate and the cream, and I'm getting that cherry taste faintly at the end now. But that's why I like Maduro cigars, especially these San Andreas ones, is even if you don't know what you're tasting, it's just a party flavor-wise. It's getting into the halfway mark, and yeah, all the notes are there. It may be that I just had a few sips of coffee here down there, but I'm really tasting the coffee part of the cigar now. Yeah, I think literally the only thing I'm not tasting at this point is the raisins. So I'll come back to you in a bit, see how it goes with some scotch, and then we'll get into the final thirds when we get close to the band here. Oh, I'm loving this. No wonder this is one of my favorite cigars, but to actually figure out why I like it is good. I think I'm gonna do all my cigar presentations this way, where I write down what I should be tasting and see what I taste, because I'm no cigar expert, as my other cigar videos will show. All right, let's have a sip of whiskey. See how this cigar tastes with whiskey. Yeah. That Glen Breton ice is really settled into the background. So I've barely touched the bottle since I made that video, because I wanted to let it sit. Perfect cigar whiskey. Ooh, lots of leather on that one. But all the cream, chocolate, coffee, and pepper's all there. Yeah, the closer we get to the final thirds, it's really starting to intensify, which is to be expected in Maduros. Yeah, all the flavors that I've tasted are still there, but the pepper is really turning up now, and this thing is starting to get spicy, but just that right amount. All right, so we're into the final third of the cigar. Here we go. Yep, all the chocolatey sweetness, coffee, richness, and a bit of cherry, but this thing is definitely peppered up. So it's not exactly holding your hand anymore. I mean, it's still there, but this thing's a spicy meatball now. So. Oh yes. For $11 Canadian, $12 Canadian, if you see this cigar in like San Andreas wrapped cigars or Maduro cigars, period, grab this. It'll look good in the humidor as long as you can get it in its original state and not its boring blah government label. But even if we do get them after the change, because I know some good cigars companies aren't going to deal with this government overreach. It's unfortunate because the people making these rules don't suffer. The common man that enjoys these suffers. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. New Scott out.